righty, are we live? Yes, we are. Tonight's show is all about craps chat. What are we talking about? We're talking about craps. We've got a couple, three things. Jeremy's got some stuff on his mind. I got some kind of big news in my little world, and we're going to talk about all that stuff right now.
Welcome to the Color Up Podcast. Whether you're a seasoned player or a beginner eager to step up to the table, this is your lucky podcast that's all about the thrill and strategy of the casino world. I'm your host, Jeremy. With me is Jim the Professor. Let's get rolling. All right, well, we have an exciting episode for tonight, Jim.
Definitely exciting.
So. No, no real topic or theme, but we had a good thumbnail, so maybe that'll.
Great thumbnail.
Yeah, and then I know we have some content because we already got a great question, Daryl Q.
Yes.
Stick around; I'll definitely answer your question, and but we've got some things here and there, but nothing really specific. So we're just going to talk about a few things. Mm-hmm. And starting with the Presley Boulevard, is that new behind you? That sign?
It is.
Okay,
Jeremy, I got that at a church auction. Was raising money for missionaries overseas, and somebody brought it, and Bonnie Boo and I think Bonnie was the one who went ahead and got the high bidder. I think originally they paid $15 for it, and I can't remember what our bid was, but yeah, I was gonna put it up, but I ran out of time, but I didn't know if something like that would look good.
Yeah, I think there's like there's a street named after Elvis Presley, I think up in here in Vegas around the Wingate, which used to be, I guess, when he started his residency, right?
Yeah.
At the Continental, I think it was called originally. Something like that. I'm not sure.
I can't remember. But anyway,
it's currently the Westgate.
Yeah, I'm not a history guy, but yeah, I saw that and I said, I got the perfect place for that. So
yeah, it's fun.
It's in the professor's palace. So. But thank you for noticing that. So.
Yeah. Oh, here? I guess I should switch to the new view and see if.
That's right. I see.
I cut it out. See, we can zoom in on your pretty face, but I cut out the sign, so we might have to make some adjustments there.
Yeah, maybe I have to hang it next week or something.
So yeah, we've got a few things. I went on a whirlwind gambling 24-hour session we could talk about. I still have yet to make a video recap, so I can't. I know some people have been asking about, what happened on my last cruise. We could talk about that. Mm-hmm. And answer any question. If you have a question, put it in there in the comments. I see people are already saying hi and stuff. And then, yeah, you mentioned in the intro that you had something change in your life.
Little big news in my world.
Craps related, right? Not exactly.
Related, not exactly.
Well, it ties into our thumbnail, so there's a little hint there.
So, by the way, is it me or do you hear the music playing still softly in our back?
I don't know, right, okay. But I could stop it. I'll put a stop to it.
All right, thank you much.
Wow, you really need to get your audio level straight. We haven't changed it from last week. What's the problem this time?
Who's loud and who's soft?
You should probably get yours closer to your mouth.
Me? I'm too soft?
Yeah, I'm guessing. According to the meters.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you can. You can put it right.
Well, I'll put it right there. Can't hear Jim.
See?
Wow.
It's unbelievable how this happens. Like the numbers are still the same. There's not much. It's insane.
Yeah. Strange.
All right. Well, you're close to it now, so hopefully.
Hold on. I'm gonna turn up my mic volume.
Well, you should
100%.
No, leave it at 100%. Don't do anything on your side.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Listen to the maestro. Okay.
That'll affect all the things. I've turned you up inside our streaming software.
My bad, Jeremy. I should have listened to you. Back down to 100. There we go. All right. Boom. So we're at 100. So sorry about that, guys.
Someone already says, who's Gloria? Does Gloria know who you are?
Gloria knows who. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Gloria's been in the car.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. She broke the news, I guess. So what do we got here?
So let's go. So I've been a Chrysler guy all my life.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Well, so I reached my destiny. And I hear Jim. Yeah, he says here, Jim. Hey, Waylon. But yeah, I've been a Chrysler guy all my life. I always worked on cars and do a good job of keeping them all alive and well. And
Yeah, over the last year or so we've been doing this podcast, it seems like every other episode you're like, well,
it's
working
not
on the
every
cars
other
again.
episode.
No,
A
no,
little bit
no.
of exaggeration.
No, no, no,
But
of
yeah,
course.
But anyway, I'm always working on cars. Anyway, and not just mine, my friends and things too. And I like
You're the
working on
local
cars.
mechanic.
Yeah, no, I'm not the local mechanic. I'm the YouTube dum-dum who's got some tools. So anyway, my wife's car, I won't get into all the details.
Sorry to interrupt you. Fly Scuba said he just joined at Green Level. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Make sure you jump in the community Discord. Chat, say hello. That's the best way to talk to me. If anyone's interested, is in our Discord. So
in the messaging, yeah. But yeah. So anyway, long story short, the Jeep died, and my wife and I were looking at new cars, and my son got a Tesla Model S last year, or this year, drove it up, and that's a smaller one, but we got one that is a Model Y, so it's kind of like I don't want to say SUV, but it's got a hatchback to it, a lot of storage space, and we went ahead and took the dive, Jeremy, and they had zero interest, and it's on the other side of this wall right here, charging up a little bit.
yeah,
And it is like I was telling you, and
it's a giant golf cart, right?
It drives like a golf cart. It really does. You step on the gas, and then that reverse magnetic braking, and you lit up on it, slows down, and then oh my gosh, the driving, it drives by itself. Tomorrow morning when I'm heading to school, I'll be on the automatic pilot thing, and it is incredible, Jeremy. I just can't wait. We're getting ready to go on a cruise a week from tomorrow, and we're going to drive down this Friday, or start to drive down this Friday, and it's like the Batmobile meets Knight Rider kit from back in the day. And
So you got to figure out
incredible.
like where to stop and get.
Oh no, it figures
fill
it
up
out
or
for
whatever?
you. Oh no, it figures it out for you. It maps the whole
And you
thing
trust
out.
it, so it'll tell you where to stop at whatever, 300
Absolutely
miles or
trust
whatever.
I absolutely trust it, man.
Oh,
It is
man.
incredible! It's incredible, Jeremy, and they are remarkable things. And the updates and technology are always moving on up. But yeah, it's a hoot. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody, Ken, and I've seen
Well,
a bunch of ones up there. But
Yeah, that is wild. And you are part of the future. I actually read today. So my wife bought some. She had a relative pass and had a little bit of money, and she decided to invest $500 into Tesla stock. With the money, which is interesting. And then I just read today that what's this rocket ship company is going to go.
SpaceX is going public. Next
SpaceX
year.
is going public,
Talking
so that'll
about
be
maybe
interesting.
$1 trillion valuation. So
Yeah, pretty wild. I don't know much about that kind of stuff, but
it's
I seems like whatever he touches turns pretty
Gold.
good.
Gold, Jeremy,
Yeah, he seems to
gold.
know what he's doing. I'd love him to come out with some gambling, something or other. I don't
he
know.
gambles too.
Yeah, does he? Well, I mean, he gambles on his life, on his companies, right? I know it's
He's-
been trouble.
He is all in obsessed and all. But yeah,
So yeah, I mentioned some of the things that we can talk about, but I mean, I might as well hit some of these comments while they're fresh here.
Yeah, let's do it.
I know Darnell was the first one. So what's the easiest cruise strategy that I can teach my 75-year-old dad to win a free cruise? Good question. And then he said, I think he followed it up. Which is your favorite cruise line? And I can't answer that. I just do Royal Caribbean. And
And then what's your favorite cruise
if
line?
if I gave you a bankroll of 2,000, you had to play it through. I don't know if that's a separate question, but yeah, can you answer that? What do you got? Any advice for a 75-year-old dad teaching him a strategy? I've got some ideas.
In to win a free cruise, that's the little rub there.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to know dark side and light side, a mixed hybrid strategy.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
That's how I like to do it. But
Yeah, I mean, there's other ways, but you don't want to prepay for that free cruise, Jeremy. So I think you're going to have to hedge a little bit. But I would start off with a little basic. I would say, hey, Dad, don't worry about winning the free cruise because you're going to get cruise offers once you start playing. And if he's 75, he's probably got time off already. I would focus in on learning the basics of the game, maybe doing a little 6-8, little pass line, then going from there, or if you can do 44 inside, and then you could talk about, regression, that kind of stuff. I would stick simple.
Yeah, if he has the money to do it, strategies like the versions of this skill 66, that 66 type strategy where you're 66. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You press up or you collect a couple times or whatever. Get a couple hits and then go down or regress to 44. You've locked in profit or most of it. Just kind of simple play like that where they're probably going to rate you, 50, 60. I mean, if you press a little bit, 80 points or so, with tipping maybe a little higher, but somewhere in that range. The problem is you're going to spend a lot of time to accumulate, right? Because, 1,200 points is usually like the minimum certificate. So if you're getting 60 points an hour,
instant certificate,
20 hours, right? So, 75, maybe he's not comfortable standing around that long. Otherwise, you're going to have to play bigger. It's all how long you play and how much money's on the table.
And hopefully Dad's done a good job in life with his IRA and his choices, and maybe he's...
Yeah, you could play more aggressive. If it's no big deal and you're willing to lose like $2,000 on your first cruise, play normal, play $100 a shooter, you'll get the cruise no problem. You may lose the $2,000. Hey, it's craps. You may win, right?
You could.
But you do something like that, you're going to get tons of offers and free cruises after that, even if you didn't earn the certificate or if you were close. But if you probably played and either won or lost $2,000, they're going to want you back.
Absolutely.
So that would be my advice: is not worry about the intricacies of hedging and doing all the specific. Just find out what your
simple.
Something simple that he likes, can understand, and
watch
is willing to put the
color
time
up
in.
videos or some of these other ones that some of these guys are talking about. He also asked about the favorite cruise line. I have not been on Princess. I haven't done NCL. Been on Carnival, I've been on Royal, and I've been on Celebrity, and I'm getting ready on spring break to go on MSC. And right now, the ones that I like as far as actual cruising, I would say I like Royal and definitely Celebrity. It's a little bit older. I say older crowd. I don't want to say older crowd, but tamer crowd than the Carnival. Carnival is just like, woo, let's go, fun. And some people say, talk to other people, say it's a little boring on some of the other ones, but I don't think they're boring. I think they're a little classier. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But yeah, try them out, see what you think for yourself. But great questions there. All right, what you got?
Let's see.
What's a crap newbie?
I don't know why the mic adjusted down again. That's weird.
Mic adjusted down.
Yeah, it's like when I closed it adjusted down again. So hopefully, I don't know. I brought it back up. Okay, what's a good plan for newbie craps play, and what is an appropriate bankroll? Appropriate bankroll?
You want me to give him the economic answer? It depends.
Yeah, it depends. What are you willing to lose and gamble? That's kind of your bankroll. Have you set some aside? But
craps newbie,
it shouldn't affect your life. It should be
entertainment.
For set aside stuff for entertainment purposes.
I would say a good bankroll depends on the table limit, where you're playing, your purpose of playing, all that good stuff. How long you want to play. Those are all things that you need into consideration. But the big thing is the strategy and how much you're willing to put at risk. Yeah.
100%. I always talk about having enough for 10 shooters. What that means is whatever strategy you pick, there's 100 ways to play. Let's say you're putting $50 out there. If worst case scenario, you lose $50 on that shooter, have enough to last for 10 shooters, and hopefully you catch a good shooter, right? So that would be $500. If you're going to play $100 at a time, that's $1,000. And that covers worst case scenario, 10 bad shooters in a row, which sometimes happens, but usually doesn't.
Yeah.
So, something like that. And that would be per session. So, bankrolls, that's for one visit.
One time.
Yeah. So.
And on a cruise or whatever, you play multiple sessions. But my suggestion would be to find the cheapest table possible. Also, if you haven't already, if you're really getting serious about it, check some of these online sites and practice playing whatever method you're going to use. You can go online if you want to get your own cheap felt. Do that, and then go ahead and get rolling.
This is a fair comment. Nothing is free, and that's absolutely true. Obviously, we're gambling, so ideally you can win at the session and then still get free cruises. But those free cruises, at minimum, you have to pay the port fees and taxes.
That's
so that
right.
can
That's right.
range from $50 a person to $300 a person, depending on how
but
nice
that's
the
a pretty
cruise
long
is.
cruise, but that's a lot better than paying the full freight or
Yeah.
sale prices and stuff like that.
Usually I average spend about, it's like $300 for me, me and my wife, double occupancy room. So
Right.
that's not free. And, you got airfare to get there. Maybe if you go in a day early, if you're not local or you're not from Florida or near some other port, right?
Yeah,
wherever you're from, you might you have travel expenses, and then obviously once you're on the ship, there's a lot of ways they try to get you to extract money from you. You don't have to though. Me and my wife rarely get anything. The food's just fine. The shows are free. You could really do it super cheap. So yeah, not technically free, but pretty darn good deal.
Ken had one over here. He suggested that the retirement plan is an awesome one. Was that you or Ken, who put out that one? Retirement plan.
Wayland's Way Craps
Was it Wayland? Yeah.
and Ken Knows Gambling kind of.
They were the ones who
collabed on, and I just
popularized it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did like hundreds of sessions, and then I actually just released not my version of it, but something I saw of theirs, and I recreated it and mentioned them in it last Monday, and it's very popular. A lot of people love that style of play. So
yeah, you could check that.
It's one of those type of hedging. If I remember right, it's like starts on a don't come, and then you cover the other numbers. It's very similar to these type of ways that I've been playing. So
okay,
yeah.
And MJ says, hey. And MJ, I'll be on a cruise, like I said, a week from Monday. Believe it or not. Yep. So.
Jeremy, is Vegas really dead, as other YouTubers proclaim, based on what you see?
Where did you go? Where did you play?
So yeah, I should mention.
Yeah, you talked about this epic session, and then 24 hours, and then kind of left us hanging, Jeremy.
So this kind of relates. Vegas, absolutely not dead. Formula One, jam-packed. I think they had their best audience ever. Okay. So when you see the dead, usually, almost always, they bring up flight statistics, which is down. No doubt about it.
Room occupancy?
And room occupancy is down. No doubt about it. What they fail to mention is they've just been catering to different type of players, which are players that spend more. So they're bringing in one person instead of 10 who will spend more, because guess what? Vegas revenues up.
Yeah.
Vegas revenues are up. A lot of stuff is up. So, the casinos themselves are pretty happy. And just depending, normal, still Friday, Saturday, everything's jam-packed.
Weekdays, not so much, based on some of the.
But it's never been, it's never been. This week has been kind of crazy. You see everyone cowboy hats everywhere, because they're doing the national rodeo thing. So like every casino is full of cowboys, or at least cosplay cowboys. It's kind of funny. My brother came into town. He comes in periodically. They give him a bunch of free play.
Okay.
He plays heavy. And so we played mostly slots, or I watched him play most. I played a little bit, and I can tell you.
You played what a little bit? Craps or slots?
Slots. I played dabbled in a little bit, mostly watched him play. But when I did stick in my little bit of money, I ended up $166 for the in slots, which is, sometimes hard to do, to win anything on slots.
Yeah, it's like stealing.
Yeah. And, but he did, he's been talking, hey, I want to try craps. So this time he actually, it's funny, what kind of moved the needle for him was bluff. He saw like an Instagram video of crapless craps. He's like, he just bets all the numbers, And then after a couple hits, he's got like $1,000. I'm
It's
like,
just that easy.
it's just that easy.
Yeah.
So I showed him a little bit how it's just that easy.
Uh-huh.
But at a scaled down level. So he like covered all the numbers. First we found a crap list and I kind of showed him $10 on all the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a couple hits and then I'm like, you have options, right? You can either regress down or you can keep pressing up and recoup your money that way or whatever. But he said he liked it because he goes, oh, I could see how my money could last a lot longer doing this as compared to slots. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the point. It's a different style of gaming. It's, in my opinion, more entertainment, and you just get to play and have fun. And
it lasts probably
it does.
longer
It
than
does.
pressing that button.
Yeah, because sometimes, unless you're winning that
Yeah.
button, it can go really, really quick. So, I mean, that is something he noticed right away. And we did that, I think, downtown at the Golden Nugget because he has some free play there. But most of his stuff is MGM. So we went back to, I don't know, Luxor maybe.
And what were the table limits you guys were playing on?
So interesting. Well, on Bubble Crap. So it was
everything was bubble crap.
Yeah, he never did do a real table, so he's not ready for that yet. But then we played. He goes, he wanted to know what's the difference between crapless and a standard table. So we played at a standard Bubble Craps, and I think he really picked it up in figuring out, because every time he was like, well, what do I do here? I'm like, what do you want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start bigger, regress? Do you want to start small, keep pressing your money back? Like, he's like, well, the 7's coming. I'm like, yeah, so do you want to pull your money down or do you want to, so he realized, oh, there's a lot of decision making in craps.
There is.
And it kind of dictates your results, and it's really up to you. When do you want to risk it? When do you want to slow down?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it was kind of cool in real time. I got to see him kind of evaluate that and like start to make decisions.
He was
or whatever.
processing it.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I will say on the real tables, although we didn't play them, interestingly, Luxor had $10 tables on Friday night, Saturday. Big.
Oh wow.
Busy times, $10 tables. Interesting though, Excalibur was 15, and were more packed. I don't know why. Usually Excalibur is considered a lower, just slightly lower tier than Excalibur or Luxor, but it did have higher table limits, but it had more people. I know Luxor looked like they were a little bit bouncy. Maybe that had something to do with it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, thank goodness people are coming to their right minds and realizing. That was another thing I should mention about Vegas Dying is the local people have picked up the slack hugely because they're starting to realize, hey, we can't just go crazy with all these prices. So there's a lot of local deals now.
All right.
Table limits are very reasonable now. I mean, you can
What
find
about the parking? Because you probably drove your brother, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we get free parking.
Oh,
and
because of his status.
His status, and locals get 3-hour free parking. There's several casinos that are doing free parking right now. But yeah, overall, there are parking fees for sure, which is, I think that might be the next on the axe, the cutting block, because it's just a crazy, just nickel and diming customers.
I called it a couple weeks ago, eye poke.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a poke in the eye. Ow.
Yeah. So I mean, because everywhere across the country, casinos could pull off. And they say, "Well, garages are expensive. They're $1 million." Yeah, that's true. And everyone else could do it.
Yeah.
Build multi-million-dollar garages and
no problem.
Still allow people to park for free because they're coming in to spend money.
Yes,
it's just like a little.
Yes, they are.
So anyway, some things have been swinging back a little bit from post-pandemic where they were really gouging people, and they're realizing, hey, we got to provide some value. There was an article.
It's getting better.
It's getting better for sure.
Okay, awesome.
There was that article, I think it was MGM guy that said, yeah, I saw where we were charging $12 for water, and it's just we've gone too far, and it's not right. And as it was nice to hear from leadership that they're going to make some changes. So
okay. Hey, I got one here I wanted to show you. There's two guys here, Big Daily Motion. He said, is 500 good, and how much would be the starting bet? And then this one here was kind of along the same line, $15 table and 500 bankroll. what would be what would you suggest as far as a strategy with $500? Say it's a just split the difference between two. Say it's a $10 or $15 table. What would you say? What kind of strategy?
Well, $10 and $15 table is a significant difference. You're talking
20,
50% more, right?
50% more. So let's just do $500 at the 15 first. What would you be thinking?
Well, I would think you want to keep whatever strategy you're at $50.
Okay.
So that's real tough. So you got maybe
6 and
like
8.
a 6 and 8 for 18
36,
each
yeah.
is 36. And then maybe if you want to pick up the field so you can have all the numbers covered for another 15.
Almost all the numbers covered because that 5 is still
Yeah, the
hanging out
5
there.
is the hole.
Yeah.
Which is not that big a deal. Actually, my wife was playing that way. So I like that. I wouldn't stay in the field, especially with that budget, but maybe you can get a couple wins, avoid
Get out
the
of the
5 and the
field.
7, get out of the field, and then maybe pick up another number. So you're I kind of like to have 3 numbers covered. However you're kind of playing it, I find that's kind of a good balance between budget and giving yourself a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could certainly do $10 on or $15 on the pass, double, triple odds, and when it hits, it's great, But
Wait
you
a
got
minute.
one number.
I got an idea, Jeremy.
Yeah.
What about the 3-point Molly? Could you do that you definitely do it on a $10 table with
15. You
500.
could maybe do
15.
single odds, right? So,
Yeah,
but you got
maybe
pass line and odds is 30, and then one come bet
30
in odds,
more,
you're at 60. So you could maybe do like a 2-point Molly.
Yeah.
You could do that, and just
Give it a shot.
just hope. But yeah, it's kind of 500 is tough on a $15 table. 10, it's very similar on a $10 table, but you got a little more room. But I would say whatever you're doing, divide it by 10, and kind of devise your strategy like 1/10 of how much money you have to gamble.
Okay. So $50 per shoot.
I would say.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to though. It's your money. Gamble however you want.
Yeah. I hope that helped a little bit for you guys. Let's see here.
Do a $500 field bet and just double up in one roll, or lose it.
Let's see what else we got. Where are those $5 tables in Vegas, Jeremy? Are there $5 tables in Vegas? I would say, based on what I've been watching, yes, there is $5 real tables. Correct. All right, let's count them out.
$3 table.
$3 table. So we can go even less. So let's
Yeah,
let's hear about
$3
it.
table at the Rio.
Rio's got 3.
Is
and
it
then
Rio?
You got, I think it's the Rio.
Yeah, the Rio does $3
Certain hours,
from
yeah.
3 a.m. to 3 p.m. So not the evening, but if you're a morning person, or I guess 3 a.m. is super late night, whatever. But they offer a $3 table.
Mm-hmm.
For a limited time, and then it goes to 5 or 10. The Palms, which is a great place, runs $5 24 hours a day.
Yep.
Same with blackjack. They run a $5 blackjack and a $5 craps table.
Okay.
And it's anytime you want. Sometimes the table's full. I mean, to be fair, and it's only one of them. Usually they'll have one $5 and then a 10 and then either a 15 or 25. And they've actually added more craps tables. I think they're doing good business over there.
Good. And they remodeled their place too over at Ellis
Yeah.
Island.
Yeah, it's a nicer place. Right around the corner, right there is, I think it's a locals casino. Man, I can't remember the name, but I've been in there a couple times at $5. It's called a Gold Coast, I think. Is that the one? It's kind of like in between or right across from the Rio.
I don't
In
know.
the
I'd
Palms.
have to open up a tab and take a look.
Yeah, someone can maybe look, but I believe it's the Gold Coast.
Okay.
Is another $5. I haven't been in Ellis Island lately, but that's kind of what they're known for is $5 table. I know.
That's what they
I know
advertise.
sometimes they go, well, our regular table's 10, and you could play on the roll to win thing for $5.
But I thought they were
So-
doing that mostly at night now. Or is there a regular table 10?
Sometimes I don't know.
Okay.
Like I said, it's been a
Hadn't
while
been a
since
while.
I've been in
Okay.
there, so I'm not
Very good.
sure. But yeah, and I don't know.
Downtown, maybe in the morning sometimes, right?
Yeah. I don't know the status of everyone really recent, but hey, if those guys are doing it, and they are that close to the strip, a block behind and stuff. And like I said, Luxor is running $10 on the heat of the weekend, Friday night.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to find plenty of 10, but yeah, five's there.
Yeah, and Dan said Dan Harding said he just needs to see those offers come back and those resort fees to stop the nickel and diming and make the gaming the big thing again. So yeah, a lot of people were wondering about that. Hey, when is it going to stop? So I'm glad to see it is. And then Brock jumped on in there and he said, hey, when's the next DiceCon? That is a club member-only event that we have once a year, which is a lot of fun. Anywhere between 80 and 100 people gather from all around the world, and we have a blast in Vegas. And if you're more interested in that, Rock, go ahead and join the club. We, what is it? Cheapest, $5 a month if you want to try it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can do that. And we got a lot of people who do that, and a lot of people join just to do the DiceCon thing. So check it out if you want to. What is it? ColorUp.club. What's your website?
That's ColorUp.club. Yep.
Yep. All right. Very good. Let's see.
Yeah, someone posted the dates, June 22nd through 24th.
Okay. Let's see. Then Dude Gaming. Yeah, Dan said Palms and Rio for sure for your $5 tables. All right. And the show keeps going on. Audio levels off. Professor's about 50%.
Yeah, you're like if you know anything about audio, I mean, he's maxed out on my soundboard here, and I'm, he's pegging in the yellow and almost a red, which you don't want to peak. You don't want him like,
Right.
If you heard it muffled, overdriving the feed, and then
my
I've got
favorite
him.
one was earlier. The guy said the guy in the green hoodie needs to be speaking up. So Bob, I think it was. So I'm Jim, by the way, Bob. Nice to meet you.
His name should be underneath him.
Yeah, it should be near that hoodie. So.
When do you all decide to take down your money, just like your brother's son? That was actually my
just like your
brother
said.
Yeah, he said the 7 is coming.
Yeah,
Is that even the ideal for you all to take your money down after 1 or 2 hits? Do you want to start on this one, and then
I would say if you're going to go bigger like that, get your money back in the rack, bounce to safety, and then you can start pressing up if you want. Once you've got, what does everybody say? Out of the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And get your money down. So that's the way a lot of conservative people do it, and seems to work well for some folks. And then sometimes, no matter what strategy you're playing, I've been at a table where people all playing different strategies, and everybody's winning sometimes, and then there's been times when everybody's losing. So it again, it depends. But
I will clarify. The 7 is coming. But I would not take your money completely down and off the table. Give yourself, because there are people that show strategies or teach that or whatever, give yourself a chance to win more money if the roll continues. I love a regression. So there's a couple of ways to play. You start really big, a lot of upfront risk, and then you regress down, and then your bets are paid for, and then you just play however you want. Right, because you've minimized your risk now. It is your money on the table, and you could take it off because the 7's coming, but it doesn't give you a chance to win any. So I don't really like that. Or you could start small, get a few hits. Now you're out of the hand, like Jim mentioned.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you can gamble. But again, I would recommend you not taking your money off because of the 7, but minimize your risk somehow, however you like to do it.
Instead of taking it all off, if you start off with 44 and you've already made a profit, maybe you go down to the table minimum after you pressed up or whatever you started out with. Just if it's a $5 table,
if you're pressing up and you feel like you get a weird go with your gut. I like going with your gut the most. But if you really feel like, man, I got a lot of money out there,
get it down.
Take it down to table minimum, or just a couple numbers, or whatever.
Take it down.
I wouldn't. You could, but Again,
no
I like to.
guarantees, past results or no
Yeah.
promise of future results,
Yeah, so it may or may not end on the very next roll, and you look like a genius if you took it all down. But if you lowered your bets, still give your chance, and the roll continues, you're in a great position too.
Okay.
So I like the idea of lowering your bets if you want, or kind of how I do it is a little mix of both. I don't lower my bets, afraid that the 7's coming.
Yeah, you've
I
had a
do.
little revelation about that.
Yeah,
through the
I
years,
do
because
do-
You used to take it down, and then I think you saw a lot of times, and I remember on one of your videos from a couple years ago, you said, hey, I think I might have been playing too conservative, or whatever the word you were using, and then you started to embrace the pressing a little bit more as David from.
But I balance it, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, you do.
very
Talk about
early
opportunity.
on, I either do some sort of a regression play where I'm lowering my bets, or I
Right.
start small or medium where I'm comfortable. Whatever I do, get my money back. And then whatever's on the table, I don't lower it anymore. Once I have let's say we're talking about having $50 per shooter with $500. If I put $50 on the shooter, once I got $50 back, I'm never lowering again. It's only up from there because
Okay.
I've got my money back. I can't lose on that shooter. I can only
you
win.
Can you can not win as much. You
Right.
can't lose. You can lose
Right. I could,
whatever's
if
on
I
the
pulled down
table.
the 50, now I would actually have locked in a $50 profit.
Right.
If the next roll is a 7, well, now I
got
broke even and won nothing.
Okay.
But I would rather, I'm comfortable.
Taking the
We are
risk.
gambling. We're there to try to win money.
Entertainment money.
So if I got the money, I'm now break even, worst case scenario for the shooter, I will just go up. So sometimes I go up slower, sometimes I'll go up bigger, but I'm just going up. I'm never going to take my money down at that point.
All right. Very good.
So
All right. I think you got it. How about this?
Yeah,
one?
we
These
covered
are
a
two
lot of
back to
things.
back. Is there an app you recommend for practicing strategies at home?
I don't like apps,
Okay.
especially, I mean, if you're going to play it like on online casinos, maybe apps are fine. But craps is a tactile, real world game. I'm not,
You will
and I
learn
think
it
there's a
quicker.
question. Yeah, I'm not, and everyone learns a little bit differently, right? Some
Right.
people can just see,
Hands-on.
watch a
Some
video and they
people
like
read
it.
Some people, yeah.
But for me and my experience of what people have seen, the best approach is hands-on. And someone asks about a table, and we'll get to that, I think. But
next one, yeah, it's the next question. Same guy, Richard.
okay,
Yeah.
well, right up front, mine is not a real table. So I have a real felt and a real rubber pyramid wall, but the rest is just 2x4s and plywood. I don't have walls. It's not a big deal. You could, and as far as practicing strategies or whatever, so let me get back to that point. Anything will work. Literally, you could use pennies and nickels for dollars and $5 and quarters for 25.
Board, yeah.
Piece of paper. You know, you could buy something on Amazon for $10. But if you roll a pair of dice and move or buy some cheap poker chips, move some
Walmart,
things
yeah.
around, see how they move around. Okay, when that loses or when that pays, and then I move this bet, it really sinks in as compared to an app. So my advice, if you're practicing, budget it as you want, but do something to where you're moving things and seeing them in action.
Well, I will say this. I use the apps when we play with our buddies for free online on some of our tables and things, and it's a lot easier and quicker, and everybody keeps score. And there's a lot of different ones that are out there. Crapsy was a very popular one
Crapsy
for
was a big
while.
one, and then I
Yeah.
think Casino Quest is starting.
I
or
think they
the
got a new one coming
process
out
of
or
building a new
something.
one coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So
and then there's some Wind Craps or something. I don't remember what that one was, but Wind Craps.
yeah, Wind Craps is like a Windows type
Maybe it's so
simulator
it's
or whatever.
You can get on those, Richard, and check them out. But if you just Google them, but I would
I will
definitely
s-
stay away from the online casino stuff, though.
I will say that some apps are not simulators, they're games. And so when you put out an app, your hope is you get 5-star ratings, and a lot of people download it, and either there's a fee or you run ads on the apps, right? That's how apps make money.
That's right.
Well, if you put out a craps game and it's true to life. It runs more like a simulation, and it's like, dang it, the 7's always coming once in 6, a lot of times once in 3, right? And I keep losing, and I'm not winning money. It's probably more of a simulator, but a lot of times you'll see those things get bad ratings. This game never wins, 1 star, and they can't keep it going. There are plenty of games. I get these emails from people all the time. Hey, I'm playing such and such app. I'm up over $1 million this year. Those are games that are built. They're not real simulators. They're not random.
Don't bust their bubble, Jeremy. Come on now. It's not that easy.
I'm busting your bubble because it is not that easy. They're designed for you to give them a 5-star rating, to like the app, have a good time, win fake money, and go, hey, this is great. But meanwhile, it gives you a bad idea of how this game goes. All right. Yeah, you're not making $1 million. This is a tough game to win at. You certainly can win. It is a tough game to win at.
Jeremy, I started out so happy with my Tesla, and you're just bringing everybody down.
Yeah, I know. Well, he asked about apps. I got to throw it out there.
Throw some truth. Okay. So then William Hoadley said, I try to play like the professor, but how do I decide when I'm up enough to place the 6 and 8 in addition to my 3-point molly? I will respond to that, and then you can give them whatever you want to do. But I do this. If I can get 3 of them home, then the next shooter I'm definitely if I get the next 3 up, I'm definitely placing the 6 and the 8, and then after that I'll start off placing the 6 and 8 with a come bet, and then if it goes up to the 6 and 8, I will use the money that I win off the 6 and 8 for the odds, and I will increase my odds since I'm in winning. So I only increase my bets when I'm up. So that's how I do it. Usually, if I can get 3 of them home, and the chips start making a difference on getting on my end of the rack, if I can get up and off on 3 of them, then that's when I start placing that 6 and 8. What do you think about that?
No, that's good. Yeah. If you got if you're in winnings and profit, you want to cover more dice combos, especially if you're a come better because you're a low house edge mathematical smart guy. 6 and 8. If the come bet's already not on the 6 and 8, it's great numbers to place bet because of the house edge. Give
you another 10 combinations out of the 36.
Yeah. So. What about Wizard of Odds online craps? Is that more random or is it a non-random? I would completely trust that. And I have used that, especially when I first started, a lot. Well, not a lot, because again, I would prefer to, to have chips in my hand. But if I do go to anything online, a lot of times it will be the site, just Wizard of Odds, his website, and then he has games. I think of most of the games, baccarat, blackjack, craps. But yeah, I would definitely trust that he has a random number generator in there. And you're not going to win $1 million on that one. So
no, Jeremy,
I would approve of his app.
All right, very good. And then Dan said, if you're losing, mix it up, take it down, and build that bankroll back up before get back up to even. And then he says, go for the big win. In his opinion, and my opinion, that's Dan's opinion.
Yeah, some people go the other way, and like when you're losing, then bet bigger to catch up. I don't like that. I never suggest martingales. I don't like chasing your losses. It's just not my style or recommendation.
Here we go.
You can dig a hole real quick.
Ken Wearybuyer says, cap the losses, not the wins.
There you go.
There you go. Good advice. Yep. And then
this is technical, go ahead. But there's no such thing as random when it comes to software. So yes, someone is programming a random number generator to randomly generate numbers, but they have to seed it, and there's different levels to that. It's very interesting.
Different levels of randomness.
Yes,
it's funny, Jeremy. The random only happens in the real world at the craps table. It can't happen on computers, apparently. But.
Yeah, interesting, right? But I can guarantee you, if they use some sort of reasonable random number generator, it's going to be like 0.000001. Simulation of actually being random. But yes, technically.
So you're saying it's not common to roll 14 12s in a row, and you can parlay him in the field 14 times.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Have you seen that? I haven't.
I have never,
I haven't
but
but it's possible mathematically, though, right?
yeah, everything's possible mathematically. So that's the thing. I mean, even a random number generator should bring up 12, 10 times in a row at some point in its lifespan. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, it's one thing. I guess because even AI is you're inputting and then it's now outputting its version of what you input. So maybe with AI technology, there's a way to, since you take in the human element, hey, here's my seed,
right?
Which is like computer code of how to figure out numbers randomly. And then now you take it and try to randomize it again. Maybe things are getting more and more random from computers, but yeah, I don't know that, but that's a big, long study dissertation. It's very technical.
Dice data. That's a dice data question. Yeah.
But
that's not tonight's show. Yeah. Duracell said lots of good crap sets play for free. All Craps works great. Have you ever tried that one? I don't know.
What's that
one. All Craps.
It's popular. I haven't tried it. I think that's one that charges like $3 up front, and I was just always too cheap to get it, and so.
Ooh, Craps etiquette question on our Craps chat, Jeremy.
Okay.
When someone buys in when the puck is off, do you say something nicely or stay quiet? Do you pull your bets down? How much does it bother you? Go ahead. They're asking you. Nobody.
No,
knows
I think they're asking you.
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, multiple questions here. When someone buys in when the puck is on, which is bad etiquette, if you know Craps, do you say something nicely or stay quiet? I don't say a word.
All right. I don't either. So
it's not my place. It's the casino's running the game.
Yeah.
And
their house, their rules.
Like, it's not the time for me to teach you etiquette. There's no problem. I mean, some people would, I guess, if you said it nicely, hey, I don't know if you're new to the game. Right there, they might be, I've been playing for 10 years, and be pissed off. There's a lot of situations where it could turn bad, as opposed to being like, oh, okay, I didn't know. I'll fix that right now. And, people's pride get in the way. There's a lot could go bad if you give people etiquette or teach them a lesson on the table, no matter how nice you could do it. Yes. So I would say that. Yeah. So I don't say anything.
You don't say anything. Do you pull your bets down?
I do not pull my bets down because I am not superstitious. Superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
Okay.
But I believe the dice do what the dice do. It doesn't matter if the guy, it is and I'll combine it with the last one. Does it bother you? It doesn't bother me per se. It is like annoying. It's like, I wish he knew the etiquette, because it slows down the rhythm of the game. And then, then there are people, well, turn my bets off, whatever. And then, it just slows the rhythm down. And then
it doesn't bother you. It doesn't bother you?
Not in a way that I'm going to, I wouldn't turn off my bets. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to turn off my bets because I know the odds are always 1 in 6.
Right.
And then, the next roll, it's a 5 and everyone moves on with their life and no one cares. But the next roll is a 7. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, I do it. That's called confirmation bias. And I'm like, well, yeah, it happens 1 in 6 times.
Jeremy, I'm emotional, man. It bothers me. I won't say anything about it, but
okay.
If I see something, and especially if the person's acting really aggressive or weird or loud or something.
Okay.
If it's just somebody who's got
so what's
no
going
clue,
through your mind when they buy in $500 middle roll, pucks on?
I was like, dude, what are you doing? Or, dudette, what are you doing?
That's the end of it? You don't sound that bothered.
It's bothered, and then I'll start whispering to whoever's beside me. And
okay.
I was like, really? And that's when you'll see some of the people say, turn my bets off. And then the logical person in me is saying, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If they came in and did a fill or whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
Whatever slows down the rhythm, right?
But whatever happens, on principle, I'm going to leave my bets on. As a come better, my come bets are always on. Should I take down my odds or whatever? And, I could do that.
You could turn your odds off. Yeah, take them down, right?
I could take them down, whatever. But I don't, just because on principle, I don't want to give into that superstition. And then sure enough, here comes big red, and it knocks me down, and then I'm kicking myself, and then I'm looking at that person.
Last comes get paid though, Jim. Right? If you
yeah, it's a very small rebate if you got 3 of them up there with odds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's me though. Yeah, that's me on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always just it goes through my mind is like, oh, darn it, we're gonna have to wait a few minutes. I wish he knew etiquette. I mean, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh crap, my money is now more at risk.
But if somebody comes up to you and asks you at the table, hey, I'd like to play. You look like you've been playing. What should I do? Do you tell them, hey, just wait a second?
Oh no, yeah, I always say, hey, see that's like the very first thing I say. That puck, it means the game's on. As soon as that's off, you can put your money on the table and get into the game. So yeah, that is like lesson number 1.
Okay. So then dude says, hey, Jim, Jeremy, do you pass up in throwing when you throw consecutive short rolls? How many orbits do you skip if you do? Do you ever pass up the roll?
Never. I want to throw the dice. I don't care if I threw 3.7s in a round. The other guys aren't better than me. It's just because I'm a believer in random. So, I want my shot to throw. Why not? Who cares?
Yeah, I'm doing it. It's just a bad night. But, the next one might be a good one. It could be the 4th one.
I've done that. I've actually done that at tables where someone keeps passing the dice. I'm like, well, how come you don't want to throw? And they're like, I just always have bad throws. I'm like, well, just give it a try. Maybe this will be the time. No, not this time. They'll skip. We'll go around in orbit.
Yeah.
You going to throw this time? Come on, just throw it. You never know. They throw it and they throw 16 rolls and it's great. I mean, what more can you ask for? Or 9 or 10. And they're like, oh, see, it was bad. I'm like, no, that's above average. You did great. Very rarely do they, again, have another bad roll. It's usually just like everyone. It's just a random number that pops up. And so I'm like, yeah, see, come on, throw the dice. That's half the game, right? You get to throw the dice.
Absolutely. So. Let's see here. Let's see. Weary was asking me if that was, I'm sorry. He said, is that with max odds? I will, I think he's going back to when I was placing the 6 and 8. Yeah, I'll put some big odds up there once I hit it, So yeah, 6 and 8, I'll place them and use max odds on a 3, 4, 5 table. I might do max odds, yeah. So that's me. What'd you have that you were looking at?
This is a fair point, I guess. Sometimes if you end up chatting with the person, you can mention casual conversation. If no one ever tells them, how do they ever learn? That's fair, Well, hopefully they watch something on YouTube, right, or Color Up. But even then, YouTube's not everyone's going to teach you etiquette. But yeah, I mean that's fair. If you're in conversation, you can talk about some etiquettes and you can kind of feel them out, I guess. But there's probably a balance. So good on you for saying that.
Mm-hmm.
I turn my bets off. Multiple people say they turn their bets off.
Yeah. So they're a little. They went to the Bryan school of superstition there.
Works 1 in 6 times. When there is potential alcohol involved, all kinds of things can. Yeah, I mean.
Oh. Yeah.
I think you kind of mentioned if it's the guy who belligerently comes out, throws money down, it's a bunch of whole stack of 20s. Let me into this game. I don't know. Then it's a whole uproar, but even then, it's.
I can't. And what's the worst? Forget about 500 and a stack of 20s. I love it when they throw the money down there and it's like $34, and it's a $10, $15 table. And I've said it before. I was like, what's the master plan in this move here, Sparky? Where are we going with this?
Now that's a 2-for-1. I could say that, excuse me, that belligerent person, that does bother me. And it's just because we're here for fun and you're either out of your right mind currently or maybe you're a jerk before the alcohol, but we're here to have fun, and now this is a bummer. So that really bothers me, not so much the betting in, but when it's a combo, I would say, that does bother me.
And this was hilarious, Daryl. I've actually seen this. This is funny. The worst is when they buy in mid-roll, and then they don't bet anything until the next person sevens out, until the seven
They say, I'm waiting for the 7, then I'll start.
Yeah, really? Okay, well, thank you.
I carry some chips in my pocket and ease into the game. Yeah, you can always do that. You don't have to do the buy-in. Some cashiers will give you chips not many. Sometimes you could buy in at another table, blackjack
Okay.
table or something, maybe play a hand, whatever. There are ways you can come to the table with chips and not even have to worry about that. But again, most players
Sneak
just
in,
just
yeah.
wait for the puck to go off and then buy in.
Mhm. Yep. Let's see. So this one here says, yeah, they buy in. I don't want to slow down the table. Yeah, that's
Right,
funny.
right.
Yeah, that is funny. Here's another one here with Paradise. He said he's seen this situation. Let's see if it's popping up. I did see it. A guy playing black and purple level, dark side. So don't pass, don't come for those of you guys who know the game. He was in the hand and rebought for $5,000 in the middle of the roll while the puck was on. Not an etiquette. That's strategy. Yeah, he's trying to.
He's getting
all
smoked.
the-
His numbers keep getting knocked off, and
Yeah.
he still wants to keep playing. He needs more money. He
Yeah.
needs more ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Forgivable, and I hate to say that bigger players get a pass, but
They definitely get more respect at the table from the casino than
yeah,
the little
yeah.
peons like me.
And I would understand it as a player like me. I would see, oh, he's been knocked off a few numbers. He's down a few thousand. He's got to rebuy. I get it, So
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe there is a little what do you call that, caveat or one example that
yeah, a little caveat would be an example. A
Okay.
little golden nugget, I guess. Yeah, we could say that. Yeah, Paradise, when he had that situation, he just went ahead and pocketed his chips and walked away.
should the dealer say something?
I don't think they're allowed. I think they always have. To
I
take the money
have
for those
I
places.
have seen
I've seen it a couple times.
I've seen a couple times where they're like, just wait. Not necessarily wait for the a 7 out or the puck to go off, but they at least wait for the shooter to finish, right? Like we're in the middle of betting and then the dice are about to go out. Just wait. People finish betting, dice go out, they get throws, and then he goes, okay, come in. But I wouldn't, it's, their job is to take money. I don't blame them for
Yes,
just,
it
if a
is.
player comes to the table and he's wanting to play and take the money, from their point of view, it is good customer service to say, come on in, throw your money on the table and I'll get you some chips. That's good customer service from the
Okay.
casino's point of view, because they're not telling the guy, sir, you need to wait, or whatever, you need to wait
You're
5 rolls or however
welcome.
long it takes.
Yeah,
No.
we'd love to have your money.
I mean,
Yeah.
so if you're talking about the individual buying in the casino, for them, the best customer service for him and would be, just put I can't take it, just put it on the table and hold the dice or whatever. Here's the, your chips and move on. But yeah, so the etiquette thing, I don't think it's a dealer's responsibility, the casinos, because I think on their end, actually, if I think about it, they are providing good service to that particular player at the
that moment. Yeah.
at the odds of or behest of everyone else at the table, I guess. But again, that's
How about this one?
It's interesting. This is the conversation people are
Do
into.
you say anything to rude or mean people at the table? Have you ever said anything?
No,
No.
that's just my personality, though. I'm not a confrontational person. I've left plenty of tables, or kind of let them know, like I look at them, color me up.
Yeah.
I don't want to be at this table. I'll say something like that. Like, I guess it's a very passive aggressive. Like, no, I don't want to. Just color me up. I'm gonna get out of here. And so it kind of shows. Maybe they're not observant, right? If they're rude, they may not even take that in a note. But hopefully, they're like, oh, that guy's leaving because maybe I'm being a little excessive. But yeah, I don't say anything. I'm not gonna say anything to.
So you don't say anything controversial. You don't say anything to the. You don't
guess
stand
not.
up to the bullies.
I'm not. It's not my. It's
That's your job.
How is it my place in the world? We're grown adults, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know. I might say if somebody's doing something mean to somebody else, and I might not say it to the other person being a little peon guy. I might say to the dealer, "Hey, look, hey, box man." I might wave and say, "Hey, look, the
Hey,
guy's
come
being
on.
yeah, step
That's
up here." or
That's a good
something."
middle ground.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, if it was a casino night, right? And it's not real money, or it's teenagers, the high school casino night. Yeah, I would say hey, come on, we're just having fun. Let's not be rude. Or I would teach them, hey, the etiquette, just wait, because it's more of a learning environment. This environment, the guy's rude or not, it's his real hard-earned money on the table. He's a grown adult.
But he doesn't get.
I'm not the
be
police.
Mean to other people, he shouldn't be. Mean.
He shouldn't.
Yeah, he shouldn't be mean to the other people.
But I'm not the etiquette police. I mean, I'm not.
So color.
Again, I'm just not the guy to try to right all the wrongs in the world.
Okay.
And
okay.
Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, what goes around comes around, and you'll someday realize you're a jerk. But I'm not going to be. Excuse me, sir. Let me stand on my pedestal and high horse to tell you how. You're being a little rude. I don't know. It's just me, but it's probably just because I'm.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in a fist fight.
Yeah. This one here is that what he's seen is some people come in with some self-service bets late, which really brings up the late bets. That's a whole other topic. I have said, hey, look, get one of our first guests we ever had, your buddy from the GSR.
Okay, yeah.
His name I can't.
Brian.
Brian. Brian. So I loved his line. Hey guys, get your late bets in early.
Yeah.
I love that line. So.
There's only a couple, right? So you're talking the come bet and the field bet. Yeah. Almost always it's the field bet. They're like thinking, whatever, the dice are out, and then here they come.
Here come the dice at the hands.
Yeah.
And over.
Yeah. Usually it's the field bet that gets you.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Coming in, here's another guy just coming into the chat. Young guy looking for a low bankroll, 200 to 400 strat. Any tips? Find a $5 table.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's the biggest tip. And if you can't find a $5 table, play on the bubble machine at 200. At 400, you could probably play at a $10 table, but very conservative, right? You're talking $40 a shooter.
Yeah, very low house edge, yeah.
Pass line, come bet, single odds, right? That would kind of do it. That'd be $40, and that would be pushing it, right? Or
maybe no odds, just the come bet itself.
Yeah, just the come bets.
Even money. That's
pass line 6 and 8. Something in that range.
Okay.
You don't go betting across all the numbers and immediately start pressing up on a $10 table if you have $400. It's just it's not going to go well for you, I don't think.
Do you prefer crapless or traditional? By the way, don't you got some of your things that I see on the website?
Yes.
So somebody was asking, where do you get a felt and stuff? You can get Jeremy. I'll let Jeremy tell you all about it while he's grabbing it. But anyway,
you go to my website, my store.
Go to the website, and
I have.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell him what you got, Jeremy.
Well, these are in the bag, but they're back in stock.
All right.
I guess they're out of the bag, but I have essentially the all tall small. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll go to this other view here so we can see the whole thing.
Wider, yep. All tall small. It's a mouse pad, basically.
Yeah, it's the size of a mouse pad. It's a large mouse pad, and then we have hot bets. Yep. Because a lot of people have felts, but they don't necessarily have the side bet, or maybe they don't have the hot bet. So those are large mouse pads, and then these are more like they're essentially mouse pad material, right? So a nice material on top, and then kind of like a rubber non-slip on the back.
Like a desk cover kind of thing.
But this is a full desk size. It's 3 feet by maybe 16, 18 inches.
36.
But if you'll notice, what is this, Jim?
That is crapless, and it's color up. Yeah.
Oh.
I see it. Now move it to the other way. Yeah.
There are no don't bets on this. This is new. So I have the standard mat as well. I don't have one open, but I have one on my desk.
I ordered one earlier. I don't know if you saw that. So.
There's been a whole bunch of orders, and then actually tonight, I'm hopefully I'll put them in bags in the boxes, and they'll go to the post office tomorrow. So
awesome.
There's maybe 20 orders already in because I let my club members. I always tell them about stuff early, and then the general public.
I forgot you put it out. I was so busy this week with all the car issues. And
I have a standard.
Also one, right?
Standard, and then this is new. I've never done a crapless before, but I did a few crapless videos, and I figured, hey, let me go ahead and get a crapless mat.
Okay, enough of the commercial. Let's get to the. I'm teasing. Fly Scuba Guy wants to know if you all prefer, if you had a choice, crapsless or traditional tables. My answer is, for me in my house, it's always a traditional table. What do you think about the crapless?
All day.
Yeah. It's just so much more to the game than doing it the crapless way. The house edge, for number one, the house edge goes up. I know if you're placed better, it doesn't make.
If you're
any
placed better, it
impact.
doesn't make a
Yeah.
difference.
But with me, it does, unless you get lucky and can run a 9-point molly, like I pulled off at last year's.
If
Nice
you like
Time.
playing the pass and the come, it's not the game for you.
No.
If you like lay bets, if you like don't bets, it's not the game for you. It's just half the game. If you're the type of person who just makes place bets on the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and you love the horn, this is the game for you. For one, now you could bet the horn numbers, and they're not one roll bets anymore.
Right.
So this is the game for you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. To me, I incorporate lay bets. I a lot of my strategies, I do use a come bet. So for me, traditional, because I like the come bet. I love lay bets, and I could care less about the horn numbers. I don't bet them. Bad bets. But
Yeah.
in crapless, they're fair bets
And
as buy bets.
buy bets, right? And they when they hit, oh my goodness.
Yeah, because at a buy bet, I mean, you're getting like on the Toon Toy, you get paid six, so they don't fall down after one roll, and you get paid 6-1 minus that 5% commission. But that's pretty good.
That's pretty doggone good.
$20 bet pays $120 minus $1.
Yeah.
Like, so
Not a bad deal.
a pretty good
Not
deal.
a bad deal. Yeah. And then Ken said he likes craps. Crapless hasn't been good to him, but then again, he hasn't tried my 9-10 point Miley strategy. So
It's tough to get that to work out.
yeah. Let's see what else we got here. This one's the one that's kind of off my Peru, but it says the casinos put no mid-shoe buy-ins on the blackjack table. They're afraid of the counters, but they won't put no mid-roll in craps. So
Well, I think you answered your question right there. They don't like the counter. So on continuous shuffle machines, I think they do let you, because it doesn't matter. They just everything's reshuffled, right? But we're talking about like single deck, double deck, those type of things where they're hand shuffling them and dealing.
do they have to tell you what kind of machine, if it's a continuous shuffling?
I don't think they have to tell you.
Or is it on you as the blackjack player if you were to ask that?
I mean, when they first came out, they were just shufflers, and I think you could see them shuffle every once in a while.
All right.
But now
They kind of rake them in.
they're kind of like always continuously shuffling. So I think most of them are continuous shufflers, but I don't know. But obviously, if you care about that, you're going to a hand dealt game anyway, where they're, whether it's one deck, two deck, even like six deck, you'll see them physically shuffle the cards, and obviously they're not going to do that because it takes a while.
Yeah, and you got to have big hands too.
So they discard and then they'll start over again. So anyone who cares and are really counting cards or kind of into that thing, they're going to someone hand dealt game anyway. But as far as you could look at the machines and see what kind of shuffler they are, I guess.
Okay. Then Ben says that the dealers love the buy-ins for customer service for potential future chips, and then he said chips equal tips. So maybe you can ask your son that one, how he feels as a dealer about mid-roll buy-ins. Not necessarily the etiquette. Yeah, not necessarily the etiquette side of things.
But anyway, back to my point of they're afraid of counters, yes, because that actually gets you an advantage of the game, but they're not afraid of dice rollers.
No.
So
controllers or anybody.
Let that be a
Is
little something to think on. They're not afraid of dice controllers.
Let's see. How about this one? Have you ever seen someone walk up with chips that come from the poker room? Used to seeing those through plastic racks. You ever seen that? Somebody come up with a big stack from the poker room and bring their own. Yeah. Okay.
I've done it.
I've seen people bring chips. I've seen people pocket chips and they'll come back later and then they'll, pretend like they lost it all or whatever to the casino but they know how many black chips are still out there. And your buddy Brian has told us that they can pretty much know exactly what you're walking away with.
Yeah, so it's specific in poker. Usually the indication is, like you say, in the plastic racks, because when you win a bunch of chips, they don't color you up there in the poker room. I don't know. They give you racks and you go to the cashier. Or you go to the poker room front desk, right?
All right.
And
I've never played poker. Yeah,
right. Yeah. So they're not always. Yeah, so they give you the racks. You put all your chips into it. Like when you're at the table, hey, can I have some racks? Because you got a big pile. Hopefully you're winning, right? You got a bunch of stacks of chips, and then you stick them on there. So some, you can go to the poker room desk and they'll color them up or whatever, or not color them up, but they'll actually give you cash. Like, here's all my chips.
Is that where you make the transaction when you go into the poker room at the
front poker room desk, right? Okay. So that's where you'd give them the cash. They'd give you a rack of chips. You put them on the table, and when you're done, hey, usually a lot of people will see that either racks are sitting or they'll put them under their chair or whatever. Okay. Because you need to somehow get all these chips back to the front desk.
I watch them on TV, and they got the big stacks and everything.
Yeah, so you got
pretty wild.
To logistically move those stacks, you put them in the racks. And so you can go up to the front desk and they'll cash you out, right? Or you can go to the cage, or I've done it and I've seen a couple of people, you just take it right to the craps table.
Do you think it's because they don't want to slow the game down by coloring people up? Is that the reason why they don't do it? Or
well, I mean, it would be the dealer, right? It is interesting, I guess. Like in all other table games, the dealer right there will color you up, color you down, whatever.
Color you up, yeah.
But yeah, in poker, he doesn't do that. And
then normally you bring your own chips to the table, so maybe that's it. You bring what you got in, and you bring. But I mean, I just can't imagine like if it's a smaller game and there's
a lot of times you don't
racks of ones or whatever,
I mean, sometimes you don't even buy in and take your chips yourself. You just say there's chip runners, right, or the manager or whatever, and you just say, he goes, "What do you want?" "I want 300."
Right.
And he'll bring you the chips as you're sitting down or whatever. So it is a little different. But yeah, the poker dealer does not do. I've seen him a little bit here and there, but as a general rule, no. You go to the front table, or you end up with racks of chips that you could take anywhere. All right. So yeah.
Good. So this one made me laugh. Jeremy, if a player was cussing out your son, would you say something as a dad? Would you say?
He said you would say something. I don't think it's a question. He said you would say something.
You would say something, yeah. Probably.
I don't think I would, actually.
You don't think you would? Okay.
I would be curious to see how my son deals and handles with it.
Yeah, you could say, hey, I got no problem going back to prison. No,
yeah, now, I mean, if he's talking to him, if he threw something, or Kate started moving towards him or something, that's a different story.
The rear naked chokehold is coming out.
Yeah, I will. I'll pull some old tricks out of the bag to take this guy down. But yeah, words, no, come on.
Dan,
he'll probably do. He's probably doing the same thing my son is doing, which is rolling his eyes.
Yeah,
like, come on, jerk.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Along. So yeah, I've seen the chips. Dice hit the chips when they're throwing them out mid-roll too. It's unbelievable.
Throw them to the center.
Yeah, get your late bets in early, guys. That's exactly what you got to do in midair. Exactly.
Jim, we've been at this for an hour and 13 minutes. Can you believe that?
No, and I'm.
It's fun, kind of just shooting the breeze and asking people's questions sometimes without topics.
Yeah, and then we just play off the other people's topics. So.
I never got into my cruise. I don't think I need to.
No.
I hopefully will finish that video and put it out.
Hopefully.
I mean, it's been so long. Cruise. It's like, I've got a cruise coming up in.
When's your cruise?
Pretty soon, January.
Yeah, you can do it before then.
Oh yeah.
You got time.
I do have time. I just gotta. Yeah.
Oh, here's one. This guy asked about JF said California casinos use cards for craps. What differences are there between crapless and the Cali craps? What do you know about that? Have you ever seen the Cali? Does Cali do crapless craps with cards also? Have you seen that? I've never heard of that.
Good question. Good
I've
question.
never heard of it. I've heard of them doing like the regular craps with cards.
I haven't heard of it, nor have I seen it. But I have played many times in California card craps.
Okay. And it was on regular tables.
Traditional table.
That's right. Regular standard tables.
And I've seen a couple different ways. I've played a couple different ways where they roll like a red dice and a blue dice. I've seen where they roll regular dice. But bottom line is you roll the dice and it just picks which cards to flip over. But as far as the math, probability, odds, it's the same game. It's just that's the loophole is you have to use cards to determine the outcome of a game. You can't use dice
because of a state law or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as it gets a little annoying because you can't. Even though a lot of the versions you throw dice, can't look at the dice results because the dice results only tell you which cards are they going to show or flip over or push up. Or
I think I remember hearing on You Can Bet on That or one of the other podcasts I listened to. Some of the Northern California casinos, they lined them up.
Yeah, it started in Southern California where
Southern, okay.
Yeah, where they'd line up the ace with one, the two at the two spot. So if you rolled a one on the dice, hey, coincidentally, it would correspond, and they'd push up the one card. So essentially, in that, it was the exact same craps. But from what I've heard, it shut down there in the South. But then I've heard reports recently that it's popped back up in like Sacramento area and on the north end of California, where they're lining up the cards so it corresponds with the dice. So, I don't know if someone steps in and says, "Hey, you can't do that," or they decide. I don't know that part of it. But they still have to use cards somehow. So it was a fun idea that we're still using cards, right?
Yeah. This is one here, Dan. I figured it out, but Dan says because the cashier manages the chips and poker, not the dealer. So
yeah, and I don't know why that is compared to the other games. I mean, blackjack, baccarat. Yeah, they could. I don't know. I mean, they have 9 players, but again, craps tables you're dealing to 8. They still stop,
but they don't. I guess it's a loss prevention kind of thing, and they're worried about cheating and maybe the dealer throwing chips away.
I'm sure they have a good reason, but
I just don't know.
The dealer just doesn't do that.
Yeah, you could tell my lack of poker knowledge, everybody. So my apologies on that one.
There you go. Yeah, shuttling from table to table, see it all the time.
Yeah, people do that. Yeah, and leave them. And when you hear people screaming, I've heard people do that. They literally run and flock to the table. Let's see this one here. Daryl said he's seen an old man making late bets and got scolded by the dealers, but it wasn't his fault. He was just old. So
when you're older, you can get away with a lot.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And sometimes, and I will say this, sometimes they're rushing. The dealers or the pace of play, they are trying to get that. Maybe they got behind on their rolls per hour or something, and they want 60 per hour, and they're behind or whatever the number is. But yeah, I've seen that. And I've actually taken my hand off the dice. I mean, they can't physically make me throw, So
not only that, I've done things where I'm not because that's the best way to handle that. If you're the shooter and they're pushing dice to you, be like, I'm not ready. Yeah. We're still trying to get some bets in. But I
get paid for my bet,
Right. So when I have actually stuck my hands in, but made it very obvious and said, because they're like, send the dice. I'm like, whoa. And I'll put my hand down or say something like that. And I'll just put my hand down and leave it down there.
In front of it, yeah.
Yeah, in front of the table so the shooter would realize or whatever. Yeah, it's like, no, we're not done. I still haven't got my bets up. I mean, this guy's still paying. But for some reason, it hasn't happened a lot. But there are, every once in a while, you'll run across that. But like you said, various reasons where it may or may not. But it's like, bro, we got to get our bets in or whatever, 100%. So I have stopped the game by literally just whoa, and put my hand out there like that just to kind of block and say, please don't throw the dice. Please don't send them. Let's stop this game. I'm not moving my hands until give us a second here.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. little shout out to a former student, John Ulmer there, who's a very successful young man. Very proud of him. So, hey, John. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Kim brings up a great point. As a new player, he had to work really hard to know what my next. But you got to be planning it. You got to be planning your action and knowing what you're going to do. If this, it's like in baseball. If the ball's hit to me, what am I doing? If my 6 and 8 are hitting, what am I doing next? Am I going? Am I pressing? Am I collecting? Am I regressing? Am I, cutting all my bets off or whatever it is? You got to have a plan. Yeah, you got to have a plan.
And some of that is why we suggest easy strategies for beginners, right? Something you understand and can handle. Not many moving parts, not a lot of decisions. Mm-hmm. Once you start to get to where you make decisions, you'll see it's an order of operations. All tables are the same.
Yep.
Right? How they pay in order. So you'll know, hey, when it's coming up. But yeah, like Jim said, like, okay, if the 6 or 8 hits, I'm going to do this. If my field hits, I'm going to do this. If the 10 hits, I'm going to do this. Have an idea of what you want. It's not the time to wait till all things happen and then go like,
wow, I won.
Yeah. You know what? And they're like, dice out. And they're like, everyone's already made their bets. And then now you're like, hey, on second thought, it can't on rare occasion. It's okay. But normally, in your turn, hey, press my bet, take me, whatever. Yeah. So that comes with experience a little bit. But yeah.
This is a good one here. Do you think they'll tighten up the craps payouts like they did with the blackjack and roulette? Well, they kind of already do that with the VIG up front versus the VIG on the backside. They've already done some things like that. But as far as the payouts, I think if
there's
they did a lot of that. No,
there's not a lot of room to do that. Like there was, like in side bets, for instance, there was a lot of room. So like the all tall small, it used to pay like 175. They brought it all the way down to 150, right? Mm-hmm. So certain things like that. But if you look at things like the 6 and 8, they pay 7 to 6. True odds are 6 to 5. Well, they're certainly not going to. So how much? There's not a lot of room.
Where are they going to go? There's no wiggle room on that.
Right. Like, I guess you could pay. I guess he's saying you could pay worse, right? So now you pay.
So you're going to pay 9 to 8 or something, or
I guess
get you the risk. I guess you get you the risk more, pay less. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's possible.
Make them all field bets. Yeah.
But although people probably thought that about blackjack, right? Like they'll never change 3 to 2, and now it's 6 to 5. So
they did.
I guess it's possible. I don't imagine how it'll ever happen. I do see things that they've done that. Like I said, they changed all tall, small. They changed side bets. Some will change the hot bets or, the prop bets in the middle. They don't pay 15.
No.
They'll pay 14 in some places.
Okay.
Or 29. But I see them maybe doing things more like roulette where they add a 000, right?
Yeah.
Like I can
now
see them
with 000.
Yeah, more ways to win. Yeah. I could see them kind of doing that, but as far as I just don't see them changing the payouts of the standard game. But I could be wrong.
No, but they kind of did it when they came out with crapsless and all that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's more like a change in the game, like adding a 0.
Okay, yeah.
Well, let's remove the don't.
Get rid of
it. It turns out it raises the house edge from 1.4 to like 5.6 or something. So they've changed it in a way that jacked it up significantly. That's worse than going from 3 to 2 to 6 to 5. Going from craps to crapless for the pass line player. But
Scott had the same thing. He said, hey, when he gets the dice, he's got plenty of time to get his bets in.
Yeah.
They're catering to you, right?
Yep.
So that's good.
That is, again, we always talk about this is the one game you control. So
yeah, you get to touch the mechanism for that gives you the outcome of the bet. So pretty doggone cool. So let's see what else we got up here.
Oh, someone just said we just thought of. I think the rollout of crapless craps is equivalent to 000. Yeah, I think it's closer to 000 because it's so bad.
The house edge you're talking about overall.
Yeah,
the number.
Yeah, it really skyrockets the game.
Oh, that's a good question. They did on the cruise ships for a while. Now
they did.
Royal's bringing them back. 3, 4, 5. But yeah, some places do. On the machines, they've taken it away.
They go down to 2 times or single
Yeah.
odds. There are some casinos. There's like one down on Fremont that only, or like Jerry's Nugget is, I think, just 2 times. And that was like the old school way of doing it. It was like 2 times.
Yeah, you can't have all that money.
But people
on a
hate to
scratch
hear this,
table.
but nowadays, you see there's casinos with 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. Technically, mathematically, yes.
Doesn't
Zero
make a
house
difference.
ed, great bet for the player
If you can
afford it. But the casino doesn't mind doing this because you're putting more action on the table. They're going to take the money.
Yeah.
Like even though it's you're not going to outlast them doing 10 times odds. If the casino could afford the volatility of that, they're going to come out in the long run because they're getting you to put more money on the table and they're going to win with the other bets. So they'll outlast you and outplay you playing the odds game. So yes, technically great bet, but there's a reason they do it.
Oh yeah.
And they're still profitable at it. So.
Absolutely. And then Ken said, hey, look, knowing the order of operations helps out a lot. And you've done videos on that, on the payouts. And I know David with Casino Quest and all of that. So, yeah, that definitely helps out a lot. Whereby, or Ken.
So he pushed back. So why did they take out 100 times odds? They're scared of what? My local does 100 times odds, but no one ever plays it. But it is
Who
great
can afford
marketing.
to? Yeah. Who can afford
So
to?
I think some of the places that take it out, like no one use it. It is great, but there are some people who will do it, especially at low limit, like 10 time
game.
or $10 table. I forget the one on the
Was it
strip
Road
that was real
Gambler?
popular.
What
Yeah,
was
he
the-
would do it.
Yeah, he would do big odds.
$10 and then $1,000 behind. So, there are plenty of people that could afford that, and it's a great game.
If you're winning.
Well, yeah. But some casinos literally they have to worry about their daily money, their weekly money. So yeah, some guy comes in 100 times odds on those bets. They could get hurt for 50, 100, 200 grand, and that's going to make a problem in their
How much
weekly
money
report.
They got in, how much they got in the safe too, because you guys are going to want to get paid.
Yeah, so yes and no, they are afraid and they're not afraid. The math will be okay, but short term, they have to deal with that volatility because neither the player or the casino has edge. So why do they need to do it? Besides marketing, why do they need to do it? It's just going to increase the volatility of their bankroll too, of the money that they have to pay out. Or so it's just kind of, they find a balance and they like 3, 4, 5. My thoughts on it.
Okay. All right. Well, the questions seem to be slowing down there.
Yeah.
And I guess we
And
will call it a
90
night. So
minutes is a good stopping point.
Yeah. And you got your hard target time, right? So, I don't know if this one will make it up to the big Apple podcast in the sky. But
Apple podcast in the sky, yeah.
But we seem to do pretty good tonight. So
Yeah, it was good conversation. People,
yeah.
you all brought good questions. I think. Thank you.
Yeah.
Personally, 10 times odds is what I can afford, so I play the math just like Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could do 10 times odds, that is an amazing way to play this game. So, good on you.
Great way to. I mean, and not only that, but winning and feel good about yourself that you're not making a stupid bet.
Just made it here and y'all shutting it down. Yeah, you'll just have to watch the replay. Just on YouTube, just rewind. I think it automatically, or you can
Does
just
it post
click
right away, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Facebook.
I don't think it takes time to process. I think you could immediately just start rewinding it and rewatching it at any point. So yeah. No topic. We just had fun with all the comments and
a lot of different
chatting.
things that were coming on there. So, what else? We usually go 8:00 on Eastern times Sunday nights. So that's what we.
We're gonna take next week off. Jim's gonna visit some family.
Yep.
And the following week, are we looking at Christmas or what's the date?
No, the following week is the
28th.
Christmas is in the middle of the week. The 28th.
Will you be back from your cruise then?
Yeah, I come back on the 26th, right? The
Okay.
day after Christmas. And then
Okay.
we're driving over to see my uncle that night. So the 26th, we'll spend the night on the 27th. No, 26th, and then probably drive home on the 27th and 28th. So I'll probably be back on the 28th.
Okay.
And I'll let you know if we don't.
But next week we are off.
Definitely off.
Jim actually said, "Hey, I could do the show remotely." I'm like, "No, don't. Just enjoy the family."
Enjoy the time with the family. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we may or may not be back that Sunday after Christmas.
Could be next year.
Could be next year, and we'll hear a little recap about Jim's experience on
my
the
Tesla
crappy
has internet. Jeremy, we could have a mobile show, baby. The thing could be driving. I could be in the car.
Does it have like Starlink built into the roof?
No, I don't have Starlink yet, but it does have internet access. So maybe if I get the mobile Starlink, maybe I can put it in the back.
That's a funny thought.
I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody who's done it. So.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. We'll have to look it up on YouTube. Yeah. All right, everyone. You guys have a great night. And again, if we don't see you, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Happy New Year.
Whatever. Yep. Happy New Year.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah.
You guys have a great season. Mm-hmm. And we thank you for listening and hanging out with us.
All right.
Adios.
Bye.